Hey guys, I wanted to do a little video for you on parts of the bow, right? So that you had it as a reference. So I've got my violin bow here. And the difference between the violin bow and the viola and the cello, remember, is that we have that 90-degree angle, like that really sharp bit at the frog. Whereas on a cello bow or a French bass bow or a viola bow, it is going to be rounded. Let me grab my cello bow so you can see that. Oh, no. There we go. So we have that more rounded bit right there. All right, so with my violin bow, one of the first things that I'm going to do, I'm going to grab it by the stick. We've got the stick that runs the length. We've got all the way up here to the tip. And then underneath we have the hair. Now nowadays that is typically synthetic, but on some it is actual horsehair. And then down towards this end of the bow, we have a couple of different parts. We have our adjustment screw. This makes the tension on the bow. So it's a righty-tighty, lefty-loosey type of thing. And then we have the winding, which is usually metal on most of them. And most of the time we have a pad, like a finger type of rest here, but this is the winding. That's sort of our rest. We've got the frog. And then that area here in between the frog and where the stick and the hair actually meet, that's called the ferrule. That's F-E-R-R-U-L-E, right? And when we do a violin bow hold, remember we're kind of looking to have our thumb and middle finger are kind of going to line up with one another. So if we looked at it from this way, it would kind of look like that. Now this would be great for cello, French bass, but what we're going to do is kind of place it right in there. Remember, not jammed all the way in, we don't want to do that. Just kind of near the ferrule. And you can sort of hang these fingers over top if you want to, just very chill. You don't want to touch the hair, but over this part. Some people say to make your middle finger touch this little eye on the frog. And you can put your pinky up top or not. I'm an up top kind of person. And then you automatically saw my wrist pronate, right? So not straight up and down. That's not what you want on a violin or a viola. It needs to turn just slightly. So if you think of your wrist being straight up and down at 12 o'clock, you kind of want to turn it towards like 2:30 if it's the little hand. So there we go. And remember that with our thumb, we don't want it like, let's see if I can get it. There we go. We don't want it to look like that, but we also don't want it super bent, just relaxed, bent a little. But that pronation on violin and viola is super important. So that's going to turn this way. And that's actually, our finger is kind of going to be on the winding or this little rest here. It's okay if it's on the rest and not on the winding, just like that. Now again, I like my pinky up here on top. Not everybody does, but I like it. But if it's over this way, nobody's going to be too angry at you, but I like it up here. Okay, let's look at the cello and French bass. It's going to be slightly different. The thing is, you're going to be missing that pronation that on a viola or a violin, you would have that there. But again, we have the same parts. We've got our screw, the frog, the stick, we've got our winding. In this case, look, it's not metal, but we still have a little pad, a rest, our hair, the stick, and the tip. Okay, so this is me holding the stick up here to show you. Remember, we kind of want very chill, kind of like those little bloopers that we were talking about, but slightly curved thumb is just behind the middle finger. Remember, it doesn't have to be all the way in the ferrule. You don't want to jam it in there. And there's me being a violinist. I wanted to pronate right away, right? But it doesn't have to be like that. Just very chill over top. That's it. And so, you know, when you have your cello, it can be straight. It does not have to turn like that. Just straight up and down. But remember not to, with your thumb, try not to bend it backwards like that. It needs to have a little tiny bend in it. Not all the way bent like that. Here we go. And just remember to keep that middle finger and your thumb. So, a little bit on your bow anatomy and the way that we would French bow hold on bass bow, cello bow, and of course our violin and viola bow with the pronated right wrist. All right, so those are all of our parts of the bow and how to hold. You can practice on a pencil if you don't currently have your bow with you. I can show you real quick with a pen or a pencil, very simple. Got my little Bic. All right. If you're a cellist, right? You got our thumb, middle finger, very chill over top. And squeeze it a little bit up and down, a little flex. If you're a violinist, right? Pronate. You can practice on your pencil, little squeezies. These are good for you. It's one of the little bow exercises you'd want to do, being able to flex. Now for me, did you see I moved I like more control, which has that pinky up on top. So that's why I like to have mine there. But there you go, little flexors. All right, everybody, a little video for you on our parts of the bow.